You spend your first 20 years worrying about what people think of you. You spend the next 20 years swearing that you don't care what people think of you. You spend the next 20 years realizing that they don't think about you. There is nothing more important for true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind, but that you are the one who listens to it. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Less small minds argue about people. The most important thing, what we learn in school, is that the most important things are not learned in school. Whatever you can conceive and believe you can realize. The danger is very real, but fear is a choice. Don't ruin your health to make money. You will end up spending your money to be healthy, and it is not reciprocal. Sometimes you have to stop seeing the good side of people and start seeing what they show you. Leave the house untidy and the garden unmowed over the weekend. You will remember the pleasure, not the cleanliness of the house or garden. You won't learn anything about life if you think you're always right. Sometimes we are tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. People only want to hear the good side of things, not the bad side. If you have problems, you will have a hard time finding people you trust. Time passes slowly when we follow him, he feels that we follow him. It is not possible to change the attitudes of others. But we can choose not to let ourselves be affected by them. What is it about taking care of a person so that they don't cheat on you? You better be careful not to fall in love with one. If a person doesn't know what he's looking for, he shouldn't mess up someone else's life either. We all have light and darkness within us. The important thing is which of the two we choose to enhance. He fell in love with his beautiful flowers and not with his roots. And when autumn came, he didn't know what to do. In my house I was taught that if I have a piece of bread and you have nothing, then we both have half a piece of bread. My inner peace is the best gift I can give to myself and the people around me. Of all the things you carry, your attitude is the most important. We cannot understand many situations at first, but over time life reveals to us why it had to be that way. I prayed to God to protect me from my enemies, and little by little I lost friends. Don't let the hours, days, and life go by filling you with complexes and forgetting to live it. There are those who go through life learning what they are taught and end up believing what they are told as absolute truth. There are others who learn from their problems, their mistakes, and their own experiences and finally end up believing in themselves, in their dreams, in their potential, and in their self-love. Only when the waters of your mind are calm will you be able to appreciate its reflection. Life is just the reflection of our mind. If you condemn those who do not forgive, judge those who judge, and hate those who hate, who will bring peace to this world? Don't forget that change starts with you. That which you hide takes root in the shadows and flourishes in the darkness. Its fruit has a strong and bitter flavor that subtly poisons you. That which you express takes root in the world and blossoms in the light. Its fruit has a bittersweet taste very similar to the truth and can heal you. The product created from your expression will be the fruit that will feed the soul of all those who decide to look into your garden. Curiously, those who spend their days criticizing know how to live everyone's lives except their own. He who gives up on the first attempt will never see any dream come true, since he will lack the time required to achieve it. You are the only one responsible for giving yourself the life you want. In life, every minute is a miracle that will not be repeated. The world is what you think it is. But keep in mind that the one who thinks is not you. When a blind person begins to see, the first thing he lets go is the cane that helped him throughout his life. At every moment we are ceasing to be what we were, we are being what we are, and we are beginning to do what we will be. Your body has the ability to withstand anything. It's your mind you have to convince. In reality, the goal does not exist. The goal is to walk the path with your head held high and your fears held low. Taking into account that the more determined your steps are, the deeper your footprint will be. Living in the present means that you don't have your mind in the future or your heart in the past. Don't regret having given everything in a relationship or for forgiving that person's mistakes. Someday you will get over it, but that person will remember you every time they fail them. Always speak to yourself with patience and love. Make sure you emit the energy you want to receive. Before you hurt, feel. Before arguing, breathe. Before criticizing, examine yourself. Before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you give up, try it. Before die, live. The comfort zone can seem like a very nice and safe place. The bad thing is that nothing can grow there. Don't stop smiling even when you're sad, because you never know who may fall in love with your smile. When you see that you are getting used to something limiting, remember that the bird can only be happy in a cage when it has forgotten the heights to which its wings can take it. Someday, when everything has finally turned out as it should, I will remember the few who believed in me when everything was but a dream. It's not about who is good to your face, but who is loyal behind your back. In life, many people will be angry with you simply because they threw dirt at you and you grew flowers. Life does not have exact formulas. Some lessons are only learned through mistakes. When a woman and a man have a sexual encounter, there is an invisible character that is always active, the imagination. A trip is lived 3 times, when I have dreamed, when it is lived and when it is remembered. You can only change yourself, but often that change changes everything. When we overprotect our children, we deprive them of the opportunity to learn to overcome challenges on their own. Carrying resentment is too heavy a burden, especially when we don't know how much time we have left in this world. If someone truly loves us, we must open our hearts to them without reservation. But if that love is not possible, it is always valuable to cultivate a sincere friendship. If friendship is not what we expect, there will always be appreciation for the moments shared. And if someone decides to walk away, we must respect their need for space and time. Let us remember that life, in its essence, is not as complicated as we sometimes make it seem. If I could go back, I would go back to my childhood, when life was simpler and without so many worries. I distrust those who do not appreciate the company of a good dog, but I fully trust the loyalty of these faithful companions. True slavery is not in success, but in believing that submission is the key to achieving it. Often, people's loyalty is conditioned by what they need at the moment. Once that changes, so does their loyalty. Anxiety, depression, and panic attacks are signs of having struggled alone for too long. We do not need to convince anyone of the obvious or tell the truth to those who do not want to hear it. It is enough to be honest and never disappoint those who trust us. Words may impress momentarily, but it is our actions that truly define us. If we spend our lives complaining, we will only find more reasons to do so, but if we cultivate gratitude, we will see more reasons to be grateful. Each person who comes into our lives has a purpose, and each departure leaves us a valuable lesson. Accepting the end of a cycle is essential for our personal growth. My children have learned a lot from me, but they also need to learn on their own, stumbling and getting back up. Stumbling and picking themselves up with their own hands will give them the strength to fly when they are ready. Each small step helps to trace your path between the sea and the sky. He who perseveres, triumphs, even if the road is difficult and long. If we get tired, let's take a break, but never give up completely. I have never given up, and I never will. We cannot compete with someone who loves what he does. For them, it's not about competing, but about enjoying every moment. It's funny how what some despise, others deeply value. Let's not rush love without truly knowing the other person. Loving involves accepting all facets of it. Loving chaos and decay is a sign of true depth and understanding. Acting with strength, originality, and nobility is the key to leaving a mark on the world. Love is shown more with actions than with empty words. Sadness is part of life, but let's never lose hope that things will get better. Every day is an opportunity to learn, from both good and bad experiences. Before loving another, let's learn to love ourselves. Let us trust that we will find answers to our concerns when the time is right. Patience is key to getting through difficult times. Let us elevate our thoughts and perceptions to discover new perspectives. Let's practice hydration, emotional independence, and self-esteem daily. Those who belittle us do not deserve our attention. Destiny has something better in store for us. Even if the circumstances are adverse, let us never stop shining. The true wise man knows that his home is as big as his imagination. Let us long for a mutual and priority love, like two souls destined to meet. Life always has new answers to the same questions, we just have to be attentive. How many times will we have to learn the same lesson before it becomes clear to us? Let's make sure we have a solid foundation before making important decisions. The real victory is to avoid going to war in the first place. I plead guilty to offering more opportunities than they truly deserve, but once it's over, there's no turning back. The only people who get angry when you tell the truth are those who live in falsehood. Don't waste your time regretting what you lack. Add up what you have and you will see how much is left over. You are destined to be a light for many who need your lighting and your love, so do not remain unlit in a corner, allow your light to illuminate the darkness of those who need you. Remember, actions never lie. A person who truly loves you does not ignore you or belittle you. He will always find a way to be close to you. If no one has told you before, I'll tell you. Congratulations for being who you are. Humans cannot control the sea or its storms, but they can control the course of their ship. The biggest communication problem in humanity is that we do not listen to understand, but to respond. A long time ago I stopped believing in words and started paying attention to the attitudes and reactions of others. Never forget that for the wrong person, giving everything will never be enough. On one occasion someone told me, "You've been single for too long. Aren't you afraid that the train will miss you?" And I answered him, "My dear, I am the train, and I decide who gets on, who gets off, and who stays." Spirituality is not about adopting beliefs or assumptions, but about discovering the truth that lies within you. Sometimes it's best to let out a maybe or I don't know before committing to something you're not sure you can accomplish. Many times we are so busy making our plans that we forget that destiny also has its plans. The heart is the bridge between the soul and the mind. First leave your mind and enter your heart space, from there it is a quick jump to your soul. The lie is like a snowball, the more it rolls, the bigger it gets. Everything that comes from the heart is always worth the risk and effort. If our eyes could see the beauty of the soul instead of the body's, our concept of beauty would be completely different. The penance of the liar is not to be believed, even when he tells the truth. The eagle is not always in flight, sometimes it rests. The sun does not always illuminate the sky, clouds sometimes hide it. The bird does not always sing, sometimes it remains silent. When you feel on edge, rest in silence and allow the clouds to disappear. The blacksmith never creates a lock without a key. In the same way, God never presents you with problems without solutions. I plead guilty to offering more opportunities than they truly deserve, but once it's over, there's no turning back. The bridge between dream and achievement is called discipline. The driving force to cross it is called passion. Fear doesn't stop death, it stops life. And worry does not eliminate future problems, it eliminates the peace of the present. Forgive your father, your mother, your brothers, and all those people who hurt you, because tomorrow will be too late to say, "I forgive you, I love you, I need you and I miss you." Once finished, there is no turning back. The only people who get angry when you tell the truth are those who live in falsehood. The biggest communication problem in humanity is that we do not listen to understand, but to respond. On one occasion someone told me, "You've been single for too long. Aren't you afraid that the train will miss you?" And I answered him, "My dear, I am the train, and I decide who gets on, who gets off, and who stays." Never forget that, for the wrong person, giving everything will never be enough. Humans cannot control the sea or its storms, but they can control the course of their ship. Spirituality is not about adopting beliefs or assumptions, but about discovering the truth that lies within you. When you do things right, people aren't sure you did anything. A happy marriage is a long conversation that always seems like too much short work about you, for you. If you don't go out to get married, you go out to have a broken heart. Let yourself be convinced and have a serious relationship. The calmer you are, the more clear your ideas are. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live your life at your own pace. Life is too short to waste time hating anyone. Envy is a waste of time. You already have all this gift that you have. Needing action is 10 times more valuable than reading and planning. Experience is the best teacher. You may regret your speech, but you will never regret your silence. If you want to try to go to the end, otherwise don't even start. The race is won by the horse that surpasses its competitors by a head. Wisdom is not wisdom when it comes only from books. In fact, it is very difficult to turn the page, but once you have done it, you will realize that it was the best decision. Be the person you needed when you were younger. Everyone wants to get to heaven, but no one wants to die. Accept criticism, but never accept disrespect. You can't change the past, but you can shape your future by learning from the past. When you stop chasing the bad things for the good, catching up never awakens the love of a woman without the intention of loving her. A lesson never goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. Learn to say no, be frugal, only eat real food without wheat and limit carbs. If you don't clear your misunderstandings in time, they will become the reason for your estrangement forever. We are all the bad guy in someone's story. Never close your lips to those to whom you have already opened your heart. Getting angry is taking revenge for other people's mistakes. Nothing is impossible for those who want to try. It's ridiculous to think that someone else can make you happy or unhappy. Only today and not tomorrow can we defeat bad habits. To lead people, you have to follow them. It is better to make an almost correct decision than to make a specific mistake. Respect yourself, because people can see if you don't. The more you know, the stupider you look in the eyes of stupid people. Don't let success go to your head. Don't let failure get to your heart. The best way to respect yourself is to discipline yourself. Don't waste time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear. To be the best, you have to be able to face the worst. As long as you are alive, no obstacle is permanent. Many people to whom you have revealed your secret have already revealed it to others. The walls you build to keep things out are also walls that keep things out. Learn to let go, even if you are right. Never make a promise you can't keep. Don't be afraid of being hurt. You can't grow if you don't get hurt. Experience is the teacher of all things. The shortest distance between 2 points is often unbearable. All men can make a mistake, but only an idiot persists in making a mistake. How much money does it take to make a man happy? €1 more. Be patient, the best things come unexpectedly. Life is a unique offer, use it wisely. Be nice to people, but don't let them benefit from your good-natured efforts. They are never in vain. How others see you is not important, how you see yourself is essential. Never let others know your weaknesses, but always try to highlight your positive points. To love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that have shaped you. It is better to be alone than in bad company. You never know how strong you are until strength is the only option. If you are not happy with yourself, you will never be happy in a relationship. Better to light a small candle than to curse the darkness. Through 2 levers, fear and self-interest, a river crosses the rock, not because of its strength, but because of its persistence. Trust your instinct, sometimes it can save you from big problems. Stupid is the man who always remains the same. Learn first, teach second. The heaviest weight we carry is our expectations. There are no shortcuts to getting to a place worth being. Don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. The best way to gain self-confidence is to do what you are afraid to do. No one in the world will defend you like your parents, they will always be there for you. Loneliness is being alone. Be great to start, but to become great, you just have to start. The world belongs to the patient. Time flies, one day you are 30, the next day you are 50. Plan now what you will do. Want to look 50, never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. Knowledge is not power until it is applied. Don't ask questions and you won't be told a lie. Whoever is satisfied with his destiny is rich. Do not shake the green apple tree, when the apple is ripe it will fall by itself. Be indifferent to blah and praise. To conduct an orchestra, you must turn your back to the crowd. Dear, I invite you to share in the comments the phrase that you liked the most or that inspired you. If you want more inspiring content full of wisdom like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any videos. See you in the next video. May wisdom and love guide every step of your path.